So you don't think Tex killed those people in that house? I didn't say that. What I said is the government is just as responsible. Yeah, sure, Tex went in that house. He killed those people. At least that's what he said. How am I supposed to know? I wasn't there. You weren't there either, so you don't really know if Tex went in there or he didn't go in there. But as the story goes, Tex went in the house. Okay, I agree with that. What I said was in the trial, in Helter Skelter, they said Manson gave these people LSD and controlled their minds with it. Manson didn't give anybody LSD. The CIA did. So, if this is the creation of theirs, how in the hell did Manson give it to them? He would have never had it if they didn't. That's what I'm saying. If they want to say that Manson's responsible in trial for this LSD shit that's controlling these people's minds, it has nothing to do with Charlie. He ain't manufacturing this shit in his garage. It's not his fault. That acid isn't his fault. That makes the government responsible if they want to use that motive. That's what I was saying. Something else I was saying is no sense makes sense in all this stuff.
Those incidents that took place basically had nothing to do with me personally. Even though I am responsible and I could accept a certain amount of responsibility, but I could also say, you're responsible and you should accept a certain amount of responsibility. I could say that we're all responsible and we all should accept a certain amount of responsibility. You know, like killing somebody, when you kill somebody, you're killing yourself. The girls told you that from the witness stand. I don't want to take my own life. I like me. And I wouldn't want to take your life because I like me. And I like you too. I like you as much as you let me and as much as you like yourself. That's what I say. I was with those people as much as they was with themselves. A bunch of children was giving their lives for what they believed in. It was an episode with lots of different reasons. Susie had one reason. Leslie had another. You know what Leslie told the court? He said, what did you think when you were stabbing that woman? She said, well, at least you won't be sending your...
Do I think Charlie was part of the MK Ultra? My opinion? I wasn't giving you my opinion in these videos. My opinion? No. He had no part of that. I don't think they got to Manson. I don't think they gave him acid in prison. But I think they did some of those people.
No, acid, yeah, a bit of acid. But I never touched acid until 67.
Yeah.
Now, the people that I was with that you said I turned on to acid,
I didn't say that.
they turned me on to acid.
Okay.
In other words, that was a new trip to me, and it wasn't all that big a trip to me, and I didn't really care for it, and I don't with speed at all, and I've never had a needle in my
And I don't think it was far out of the vision of Charlie, of them doing that. He was in two federal prisons. And they tell about, they tell the story about how Creepy Carpus, the guy that links, I mean, if you want to talk about his 6 degrees of Helter Skelter, Manson learning the guitar from Creepy Carpus, man, Creepy Carpus was connected. He knew Al Capone personally. He knew him personally. He knew Babyface Nelson. He knew Bonnie and Clyde. He knew these people personally. He knew Ma Barker. He was part of the Barker gang. J. Edgar Hoover claimed that he came and put the handcuffs on Creepy Carpus to put him in jail. This dude was, so he only taught Manson the guitar? You don't think this guy taught him everything? Everything maybe he knew? I mean, Manson's sitting in there learning now. That's what Creepy said. He's sitting there learning. He's really, okay, what's he learning from? Just guitar? Or is he learning the ways of the government? Is he learning the ways of, I think Manson was learning a lot from a lot of people. One thing I think is people don't give Charlie enough credit. They treat him like he's stupid. And he uses that to his advantage, and he gets over on all of society, all the time. He did it from the time that you started putting him to the center of attention until the time he died. He was always front and center. Why? Some of the guys coming back from World War II, they would tell Charlie the stories of World War II. He was a sponge. He just sucked all that stuff up. Well, the CIA they were really experimenting on them guys in World War II. And Charlie knew it. Again, back to the very beginning of all these videos, it's something like, oh, don't create a bunch of controversy and a bunch of Conspiracy films. You know what? I've been seeing conspiracy films on Charles Manson ever since the day I was 5 years old. That's all they've ever been playing of Manson. And all it is conspiracy films all the time. It's their version of what they want you to believe happened. I don't particularly believe that. Do I believe that Spawn Ranch Raid was a movie? It might have started out as a raid, but it ended up as all they ever took was a machine gun. Nobody ever got charged for anything. They let them go. 2 days later, they came back for marijuana. They arrested them and let them go again. And all they ever used this thing for was now pictures on the internet and something that one sheriff deputy told me that they used for a training film. So what really was it? It was just a movie in the end because it didn't accomplish anything. It was all screwed up like all of this is. It's all a bunch of confusion. That's another thing that the CIA did. It wasn't just they were making LSD in this factory. They were making all kinds of crap. And some of the things that they were making were things to make you forget where you were a couple days before. Some of the things they were making were to confuse you, to not even know what was going on. So that's what, honestly, it sounds like the Manson family was being fed a bunch of that because everybody tells a different story. So all I'm saying is open up your mind. I don't particularly believe anything. I don't believe nothing. I know I don't believe anything I've been told. And I personally have been able to ask Manson a lot of questions, a lot more questions than you'll ever be able to ask him or anybody else will. Now, because it's over with, you can't ask him no more. But I have asked him, and I'm just willing to show you. This ain't about making no money. It ain't about making no book. It ain't about making anything except your mind expand and think more openly and broadly about what the hell really went on. At first, remember when so many things just don't jive. From the first time that Roman Polanski comes out into the press conference, he's like, "Oh, Sharon, she didn't do drugs. She didn't even smoke cigarettes." The fucking then he goes, LAPD, however many days later, hook a polygraph to him. And what's he say then? Sharon was on 50 acid trips. What the hell? What the hell is real about this whole shit is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to create any conspiracy films. MK Ultra. Do I think Manson was involved in MK Ultra? Only to what he heard from the people coming back from World War II on how the government was using this. Probably from some of the people that he was in prison with while he was in federal prison. Basically, Manson's part of the federal government while he's in prison, in federal prison. They're the ones that are looking after you. They're the ones that are controlling your thoughts. They're the ones that are giving you food. They're the one. All that stuff's coming from the federal government. So in them times, Manson's part of the federal government, and there was every opportunity for him to see it. Do I think they gave him acid in there? No, I don't think so. But do I think maybe he worked that same program on these kids later on? Like what he did in the trial. Almost the same thing. Did he do that? I don't know. Who knows? Let's get into something later. But next time, we'll come back with something else you haven't seen, hopefully, or you haven't heard. And if you think I'm crazy, write it in the comments. Let me know. It doesn't bother me any. I think we're all crazy in a way. Until next time, take care. Have a wonderful day. And we'll see you.